The 2018 edition of the Mahindra XUV was launched with new versions, new pricing and a lot of changes. Is this new edition any better? Well, we drive it extensively and rate it across 5 different parameters. What are these? Let's find out.
Parameter number 1, the exterior design. Now this is not a completely new model which meant designers could not play with the body shell. However, they have done 3 things in the front end design. A are the new headlamps with the new DRL setup. I prefer this over the earlier model. B is the new grille which is much more bigger now with more chrome, and C is the new bumper setup. Now these 3 things alone give the new XUV a much more aggressive front end, something that is required when you're overtaking smaller cars in traffic. The side profile again has 3 changes. This is a top-end version, which means you get larger and new 18-inch alloy wheels. These look blink and one of the best looking alloy wheels under 20 lakh rupees in India. Second change is the new chrome beading over here. And third change are the roof racks. Things at the back are even more interesting. Let's find out. Now at the back, the biggest change are the new tail lamp designs. The earlier one had a very vertical setup like this. Over here, this one has gone now. This now gets a much more rectangular tail light design. This might make it look more MPV-ish, but trust me, in flesh, the new XUV from the back looks much better than in videos and in images. You also get additional lights over here. And finally, the nomenclature for the version naming has changed from even, that is W468, to odd, the W579, and the top-end version, the 11. So overall design, guys, I'm impressed. The parameter 1 works for this one. The second parameter, well, let's go inside the car. So the second parameter gets me to the interiors of the XUV. We'll speak about the space, the comfort and the features. Now in my last 5 years of ownership with my own XUV, I have had no complaints when it comes to being a driver. That is the ergonomics, the space on offer, the headroom, the shoulder space, the places to keep your knickknacks, and overall comfort factor. I've gone to Ladakh 6 times, I've gone to Manali and back, I think 20 times for my business, and this is something I can vouch for. Now this model, again, because not a completely new model, the overall design of the cabin and the fascia remains unchanged. What Mahindra has done is they have played with the colors over here. You can see the new color for the leather seats and a soft touch feel for the fascia over here and the door pads. XUV was always known for features, and this one completely improves on that. You continue to get things like a sunroof, a power driver's seat, 6 airbags, a very good touchscreen infotainment system with the EcoSense technology, and so on and so forth. In terms of storage spaces, this is something special. I think XUV is one vehicle in India which is meant for family usage. There are simply too many places to keep your bottles, your cups, your wallets, your mobile, everything. I'll show them to you. The door pads are very generous. They are very big. On either side, you can keep a couple of bottles over here. Then storage space over here, on the top, place to keep your mobile phone, 2 cup holders and twin glove box setup over here also. This one opens into a smaller area, and this one with the chiller has a much bigger depth inside. So overall, I think up front, I have no complaints in terms of the features, the comfort, the space. The only thing is that the central console looks a bit outdated now. This is not 2011, this is 2018 now. And this is one area Mahindra designers could have done something to make it look modern and fresh. Things at the back, well, let's have a look. Now, things at the back in the second row of the XUV are simply impressive. A, the seats can be reclined back like this. Now this one has been positioned normally, but this one has been reclined back, which is very good for longer journeys. Second is that you sit slightly higher up as compared to the first row. So the visibility from the second seat, even for shorter passengers at the back, is never an issue. You never feel hammered in. The windows are very large and they also roll down completely like this, flat. Next, the floor base over here is completely flat, which means if you have 3 people sitting next to next in the second row, no issues at all. However, at the same time, the speed of the air from the air vents is not very good for the Indian summers, and there is no adjustment to lower or increase the speed of the fan. that happens from the third row. This is one area where Mahindra engineers could have done something for the facelift model. Talking about the third row, let's have a look.
So as you can see, things at the back are not fit for people like me. I'm sorry. It's best for children or for small size adults. Now the thing is, this was the same issue in my previous, in my XUV, the previous version as well. And I actually thought Mahindra could have taken feedback from the owners and given a sliding option for the second row. Something that cheaper options like the Ertiga give you. Now if you can slide the second row forward for smaller adults in the second row, that can actually liberate a lot of space at the back for people like me or for normal adults for longer journeys. Apart from that, it's a good place in terms of practicality. You have AC vents 1 and 2, which are actually good with a much better airflow as compared to the second row AC vents. You also have your 2 cup holders, 1 and 2, places to keep your mobile phones, and a charging point. Oh, so there was a charging point in my XUV, but there is no charging point at the back, which is cost cutting or what, I don't know. Anyways, visibility is good. You sit higher ups, and as it is, the windows are large. This one is also large. So in terms of practicality and airiness, it's not a bad place to be, but not at all recommended for large adults. Time to get out.
And finally, the boot space of the new XUV, well, it remains like the older version, which is decently good. If the last row is folded, you can put in probably 3 to 4 suitcases or a person like me. But if you open the third row like this, with the third row in place, the space at the back for anything is not there. Even a very narrow in-flight cabin trolley will not fit over here. I'll show it to you. See, if I close the door, will not close. So with the 3 rows in place, the only thing you can put here are a couple of bottles or probably one shoulder bag, and that is not a good thing. Now we're doing 2 economy runs in the XUV, one at 90 and second at 100. In both the runs, the AC will be running and we had 2 people on board. As you can see, in the first one at 90, it's not 18 kmpl, we're actually getting over 18 kmpl. The display of the XUV never shows under 9 and over 18 for some weird reason. So if you're planning a long drive in the new XUV at 90 kmph on highways with the AC running, expect an easy 18 plus kmpl. The second one will be at 100, and I'll get back to you on the economy at 100 in the next few minutes. And this figure is very good for a car of this weight, this size and this performance. The reason for such a good fuel economy in the XUV at highway speeds is that it's got a 6-speed gearbox. In the 6th gear, the engine revs, they drop a lot. Currently at an indicated 100 kmph, the engine is spinning at under 2000 rpm, and because of that, the fuel economy figures are in front of you, inching slightly forward to 16.1 now. And even if there is a 5% error in the display calculation, you can expect over 15 kmpl at cruising speeds of 100 in the new XUV. Finally, parameter number 5, the variance of the new XUV. Now this is one area where the XUV has a clear edge over rivals. Rivals be it the Creta, the Hexa or even the Jeep Compass. Now so basically we have 4 different versions. The W5, the 7, the 9 and the 11. The 11 is also available in an optional all-wheel drive, and the automatic is offered in 3 variants. The W7, the W9 and the W11. Again, something that for example the Hexa does not offer you. Now the base version, the W5, can be used for 12.32 lakh rupees ex-showroom daily, which is actually better value than the outgoing W4 model. You also get decent kit, for example, infotainment system, keyless entry, and safety is taken care of by the ABS and the airbags. So for value-conscious buyers, because you get the fabulous 2.2-litre diesel engine, the W5 is a good pick. Moving on, of the 4 versions, personally I would pick the W7. It is also offered in the automatic option, and you get more kit like leather interiors, a touchscreen infotainment system, and DRLs. In fact, at this price, the automatic W7 XUV makes for a fantastic buy. It's a powerful vehicle, spacious in the first rows, and the convenience of an automatic. Moving on, you have the W9 and the W11. The top-end W11 becomes very expensive in certain states, I think approximately 22 to 24 lakh rupees on road, which is a lot of money. But of course, offers you segment-leading, segment-unique features, and I personally love the sunroof for the kids and the family. And then you have the soft touch dash, you have the infotainment system with a lot of technology, and so on. One thing I don't like is the fact that all-wheel drive is only offered in the most expensive W11 version. Now when you think Mahindra, you think SUVs, you think 4x4, you think adventure, you think Ladakh. And for people who actually want an all-wheel drive for their trips, for their adventures, people like me, we have to shell out a lot of money. Mahindra, why can't you give an all-wheel drive option in the cheaper W7 or the W5? That will be fantastic.
So there you go. The new XUV comes across as a much better package than ever before. Still one of the best buys in the 12 to 18 lakh rupees segment, innately.